Hi kids, we're going to be learning about two peripheral nerves that are in the arm.
Okay, so today we are going to add some peripheral nerves to the arm of our mannequin. And so to do this, you're going to need two fairly lengthy pieces of this tan spaghetti. Feel free to kind of, merge two pieces together to make it a little bit longer if you need to. And we're also going to need to split a piece in half with our wire tool. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. So you'll need a wire tool. And then the only part of your mannequin that you'll need is the arm. So the first nerve we're going to make is called the ulnar nerve. And this nerve actually follows along the ulna, which is this bone, kind of in line with the pinky there. And to make the ulnar nerve, what you're going to do is take one of these pieces of spaghetti, and it's going to connect to the spinal cord. So for now, we'll just kind of shove it in here, kind of behind there, just to kind of anchor it. And then it's going to run down the pinky side or the medial side of the upper arm. When it gets to the elbow, though, something interesting happens. It kind of tucks around and behind that little bony projection there, and then it follows this bone, the ulna, all the way down to the wrist, and then it branches, and I'm going to make the first branch go to the pinky, and I'm going to break it off. Now, the second branch actually only goes to half of the ring finger, that next finger. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of spaghetti, I'm going to break off a section that'll be about the length I need, so from the wrist to the ring finger. So I'm going to break it off right about there. That's a little bit longer probably than it needs to be, but that's okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my wire tool to cut it in half. So I'm just going to saw it down the middle here, and you can see that I'm not doing a great job, but it's working. And this is simply to indicate that half of the ring finger is getting contacted by this nerve and the other half by another. So I'm going to go back to my wrist, I'm going to anchor that to the wrist, and then I'm going to put that up against the ring finger like that. Okay, so again, this branches off of this same ulnar nerve. So both fingers are contacted by this same nerve. Now, interesting fun fact about this nerve, notice how it kind of tucks between these two bony projections on the arm. You can find those bony projections on your own arm. So if I take my hand, the same hand as the mannequin, and I kind of bend my arm up, I will see two bony projections. Helps that I'm a skinny guy. These two bony projections right here, and then right in between there, if you take your fingers and just kind of wedge them right in there as best you can. You might have to straighten your arm or bend it, but if you really push in there, you may feel a tingly sensation, a pins and needles feeling. Try and identify which fingers do you feel that tingly sensation in, and based on what we just did on the mannequin, where would you predict the tingly sensation to be? And hopefully you're feeling it in these two fingers. And that sensation, that is your funny bone. So the funny bone is actually the ulnar nerve, and what happens is if you bang that on a table, you can sometimes pinch that nerve against those bones, and you get that pins and needles feeling in these two fingers. Fun. So the next nerve we're going to make is called the median nerve. Just like before, I'm going to start just by anchoring it in the back here. We're not really going to worry about where that attaches. It's going to come down the center of this arm, and then it is going to branch to the other fingers. So it goes to the thumb, it branches to the pointer finger, it branches to the ring finger, and then the other half of, the middle finger, and then the other half of the ring finger is also contacted by this as well. And so I'm going to try and get that to position itself as best I can. And so all of these branches come from this one nerve. So I'm just going to use my thumb to try and make it look as best I can like those all came from this same thing. And you want to position it like that. Okay? So it turns out that every finger gets its own little branch of nerve except the ring finger, which gets half of it from the median nerve and the other half from the ulnar nerve. Now, why is the median nerve interesting? Well, you may have heard of carpal tunnel syndrome. That is a repetitive motion injury where you get this pins and needles feeling in certain fingers. That is actually caused by an inflammation of tendons in this area right here. You might have noticed that there was a little tunnel right in the wrist area where these nerves pass through. There's like a low point, and then there's a band of ligaments that goes over that. That little area is right around the wrist bones, which are called the carpals, and so this whole area is called the carpal tunnel. And if tendons inside there get inflamed, then these nerves can get pinched, and you're going to get that same pins and needles feeling that you just got with your funny bone getting pinched. Only in the case of carpal tunnel, it's going to be found in the thumb, the pointer finger, the middle finger, and then half of the ring finger.